Hi folks, Steve the Hurricane here. It's Sunday night, so get out your wine and let's toast to another episode of A Drink with the Hurricane. Cheers. Alright. For today's episode of A Drink with the Hurricane, I'm actually going to do a three-part episode where I'm going to teach you the objection cycle. Now, the objection cycle is a vital part. It's actually the conclusion of the Art of Closing program that I'm going to be talking about at Hurricane Marketing Bootcamp 2.0 in February next year. Every time we are in a closing situation, whether it's talking to a social worker and asking her to refer us, speaking to a family, getting them to come up on services, talking to an administrator and allowing them to give us an in-service, or whatever the case may be, we always have to be prepared to handle an objection because, let's face it, at least 50% of the time, the answer is no, or I don't have time, or I'm busy, or some other kind of objection that we have to overcome. So anytime someone ever gives me an objection, the first thing you want to do, instead of come back and immediately give them a reason, a rebuttal, or some reason to try and get them to come onto your side and see your point of view, or give you whatever they're trying to get from them, instead of trying to do that, I always encourage people to agree or acknowledge what the person says. Here's an example. I'm trying to close a family to sign up for services, and the person says to me, Steve, we're not ready to do this right now, or we're not going to do this right now, or whatever the case may be. Instead of saying, but the mom's in the hospital, she's got to come home tomorrow, you need to make a decision, yada yada, whatever, which is our natural gut instinct to do, that's going to make the person angry. That's when I become a pushy salesperson. That's when I'm going to ruin any chance I have of getting this client. Instead, what I always do is I acknowledge and I agree with the person. And I say, Mrs. Smith, I completely understand where you're coming from. You may not be ready to make this decision right now, and that's okay, because I get it. Most of the clients that I talk to, this is a very big decision, this is not a cheap product, and you want to think about it. And then I continue to go back and answer with logic and everything else or whatever. But by agreeing with what she said, by acknowledging what she said, I just lowered her shields and got her on my side because I showed that I listened to what she said and I care and I understand her situation, and I'm not going to pressure her into something. Now, I know she needs the help. She knows she needs the help. That's understood. That's why I'm sitting here in the first place. But by agreeing with her and acknowledging her, that'll diffuse the situation and get it so she's going to want to hear what I have to say. Now, next week I'm going to talk about the next step in the process of the objection cycle. And at the Hurricane Marketing Bootcamp in February of 2015, I'm going to go over everything you need to get to this point so that you can close at a 95% rate like I did back when I was selling private duty home care, or when I was talking to social workers or physicians, getting them to refer me. So if you're not closing at a 95% rate, if you're not getting referrals from social workers and discharge planners, then I strongly recommend you sign up for that marketing boot camp. We already have dozens of people signed up. Space is limited. We'll sell out just like we have every single other one. So I know where I'll be in February of 2015. The question is, where will you be? So folks, I'm Steve the Hurricane, and remember, don't just beat your competition, but